Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Saltcast. I'm your host, Alex. I'm here with Sebastian and Bert. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Good.
What's going on? Bert, you're back at school. I know that.
Unfortunately.
Yep. We had holidays are wrapped up. New Year, 2025. Yeah. So
hopefully it's the year of GTA.
Yeah. The Saltcast continues into 2025. Let's see what the year brings.
New 50 series NVIDIA cards got announced.
I did have that actually on my news list.
I don't know much about it, so you could probably talk about it more.
Good transition, Bert. Way to segue us into news.
There's a big controversy about it, which personally I don't really understand. Maybe I'm just not informed enough, but basically, new 50 series was announced. I guess it's because of the way they marketed it is why people are mad, but they're like showing off the new 50 series. They're like, the 5070 will be half the price of the 4090 and twice as powerful. And everyone was like, what the hell? That doesn't even make sense. And then they're like, using our AI frame generation.
Yeah.
That's where people were upset. Now, here's my thoughts on the thing.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but if it works, who cares? You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, obviously, I don't know if it works, but if it looks the same as actually running 200 FPS, even though it's not actually, I'm okay with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. My only problem with the direction it feels like it's heading is that this is just more of an excuse for developers not to optimize their games. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but because, that's not really NVIDIA's. That's not on NVIDIA at all.
No, it's really not. But it's like it affects the whole industry because I feel like graphics cards come out beyond like the enterprise thing. But for most people, graphics cards are mainly for gaming, and that like is what people care about it for because they want to run games at higher FPS and whatever. But I feel like using like AI to generate your frames.
Yeah, so just a quick explanation of what that is, because I know you probably don't know. You're just sitting here quiet. Basically, the way they have their like new NVIDIA, they announced with their new graphics card, their like DLSS 4 way of like frame generation, which basically, I don't know how it does it, but it like predicts the next 3 frames while it's currently generating like the active one. So that you have like 3 frames of buffer like into the future.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
That's literally what it is.
My interpretation of it is that like, let's say if you have 100 frames per second, like only like 80 of those 100 are actually rendering, and then the other 20 are like AI generated frames.
Yeah, exactly. They're predicted frames.
Yeah,
the next 2 to 3 frames are predicted. So you have, it basically doubles to triples your frame rate kind of because it's throwing in 2 to 3 fake frames between every frame, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason that like people say this is bad, I've never actually used it, so I don't know. I've not used the generative frame thing, but they say it has input lag. So if that's true, yeah, that sucks, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it would. If it's like predicting, is it like if you do a move it doesn't think you're going to do. Especially for like an FPS game where it's very frantic.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, you can still turn it off, which is cool, but like...
But the problem is, if the game isn't optimized and you turn it off, suddenly your 120 frames are now 30.
Yeah, well, you have to do more work to set up the frame generation. Doing nothing is easier than setting up the game for frame generation.
With DLSS it improves your like with like the like in a game, if you have DLSS on, you'll get 100 frames, but then if you turn it off, you'll only get like 30.
Yeah, but that also, not all games support it. So if they literally didn't care and wanted to do the least amount of work, they just wouldn't support DLSS at all.
That's true. But then it kind of stinks for like, I don't know, if you don't have like a 4090 or a 50 whatever, like if you're like on the tail end of the hardware, you're almost being forced to be phased out, even though beforehand, like, hardware would last a bit longer, I feel like. But now it's almost like, I don't know, you have to buy.
Hardware never lasted more than a year before it was phased out.
No, like, obviously not peak, but like the old, like, that 5-year-old hardware and stuff can't keep up with everything that's coming out all of a sudden. It's like, if you want to, like, I feel like you're almost in a position where you have to wait for all the new technologies to finish coming out, so that way you can buy just the one thing that you need, versus every year you're like being phased out of a feature.
What do you mean?
Like, if like like if you still have a 1080, like, that's a fair, like, that was a good graphics card, but now you suddenly can't use like all the new features. Like, obviously you can't use ray tracing, but like there's some games that are just I don't know how to word it.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I feel like that doesn't make any sense. That's like saying, why can I not charge my gasoline car when electric cars exist now?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I'm not sure what you mean.
I just don't like generative AI, and I feel like everything is going towards that. And I feel like there's like, especially with games, like, I want to render my games on my hardware. I don't want to have to be forced to use these like AI technologies to play a game. Like, I'm forced to being like, you know what I'm trying to say, kind of.
I mean, I think really I get what you're saying, though.
But I don't feel like it really affects much. I mean, if anything, it's improvements.
They could have just not called it AI and no one would have complained, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think in the long run, it's just an improvement that's inevitable.
It's not even really AI. It's just a predictive algorithm. Like,
that's true. I guess it isn't like... So I guess the way they word it, they make it seem like the AI is going to be like rendering frames, almost like how ChatGPT renders images.
No, I don't. It's literally...
And that's what I don't like.
Takes the data from the current frame that you have, and then does calculations to assume what the most likely next frame is, so that it can generate that simultaneously as well as like the next 1, 2, and 3 forward, to slide them between to make it look smoother. Now, yes, the problem there is it'll get it wrong sometimes. I don't know how likely that is. And then that'll be weird to have one of your fake, I don't know what you would call them, but they're your fake frames wrong between your real frames, you know?
Yeah, and then I feel like depending on the game, that could affect people and like your performance.
Yeah, but I think that is 100% on a developer at that point. Like,
yeah, I think the problem is very, very minor, if there is any.
Well, the problem is that they're marketing it as this graphics card is twice as powerful, when if you do not do the frame generation, it's very minorly improved from the last one. You know what I mean? So they're making people think that it literally is generating 2 times as many frames when it's not.
That's where I could understand. I just don't like the way it's worded.
Yeah,
and I really don't like how developers don't optimize their games, because I feel like they don't. Like, if you don't have a good computer, and I'm talking like you have to spend at least $1,000 on a decent computer nowadays to run games at like medium settings, decent FPS. When, like, I feel like in like a couple years ago, we were able to get away with a $600, $500 PC and get medium performance.
I think it depends, though, because I think, like, in general, that's not even a PC problem. Like, a lot of games run dog shit on consoles, too, now. Like, games but at least are just with the console, right now.
Like, you pay the one pro... Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like developers aren't optimizing their games anymore.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that's not a PC-specific problem.
But PC affects it most, because, like, with a console, you pay $500 or whatever, and you get what you get. But with the it's almost like they're like slowly de-incentivizing people to play on PC, because you have to spend $1,000 on or $1,500 on a PC to match the PS5 performance. That's like $500. You know what I'm trying to say? It's a fraction of the price. Like, if you only care about gaming, it makes sense to buy a console over a PC.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that one.
Well, price-wise, it does.
Price-wise, the barrier of entry is so much lower for consoles compared to PC.
Oh, especially if you that's want always been performance. True. That's literally always been true. Consoles are sold at a loss for that reason.
I feel like not so long ago, we were able to at least have a console-like experience for about the same, like to build a PC for it to be a console-like experience was about the same price of a console. Maybe a little bit more with like the Windows license and stuff. But nowadays, I feel like you have to spend so much more.
You could build a $600 to $1,000 computer that will be better than at least the Xbox. And I don't have like much PlayStation knowledge, but you could definitely pass the Xbox.
Performance-wise, with the 4K 60 FPS?
Yes. And you know why? It's because of the Series S. Every game runs like dog shit on Xbox because of the Series S.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Microsoft needs to let that console go. But like with the point still kind of stands with PlayStation games.
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Like to get the same, I feel like to get the same performance that you can find on a console, or at least PlayStation, it would cost like it's almost too much because games are so much harder to run on PC because they're not optimized as well.
The thing you're running into here is what you're forgetting. For some reason, these days, a lot of console games, I think the majority, are still 30 FPS locked.
I think they're slowly transitioning to 60. I'm pretty sure. Most of them are going to 60. Or at least like the big 4K. Releases. No, I think in 4K you get 30.
Yeah, you're not running any I think you're misunderstanding because you no longer use a 1080p monitor. If you were running just going from 1080p to 4K, you're instantly 4 timesing the work on your graphics card. You know, you could keep the same graphics card for probably another 3 years if you ran on a 1080p monitor. It's not my graphics card
that's the problem. It's my CPU. But that's something different. At least in my context, it's my CPU that's my bottleneck. But that's not what I'm complaining about.
I'm just saying in general, though, if you're running in 1080p, you could still be using a 1080.
Yeah,
I literally was using a 1080 until I got my 3080. I used a 1080 up until 2019.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, you're right. I know people that still use 1080s. I'm just saying, like, but like they've struggled to play Call of Duty even on like 1080p monitor.
Okay, but think about this, right? Let me look this up right now. GeForce 1080 release date. Okay, so the new Call of Duty, you're saying, struggled on a...
I just googled it. That is I forgot how time works.
Yeah, exactly. 2016, the 1080 was released.
He has a TI specifically, but yeah.
Either way,
a year difference.
You can't play the freaking new Call of Duty on an Xbox One original.
Yeah.
I agree with you, almost, just not quite. I do think that we've reached the era of, as far as graphics being like, it's like you don't even really notice it that much anymore, like the jumps between things, you know?
Like you're getting like...
I don't never notice
what's that term, like degrading like return or something? There's a term I'm thinking of. It's like you can put a bunch of work in, but you're only getting so much improvement that it's almost not worth working on it anymore to improve it.
Yeah, it's like, I know what you mean, and I literally knew it until you asked me and then made me forget, but I know what you mean. Like, honestly... The best looking game that I know of came out in 2018. It's Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
That is graphically, in my mind, the best looking game that I've seen.
And then just like another, like the only other like fear is like with AI, it's just more of an excuse to be lazy with your thing. Because if like you can like use generative things and get like 60 FPS, then you don't have to optimize your game to like run without that. You know what I'm trying to say? And I just feel like that's
I think
weird.
AI is just gonna streamline a lot of stuff though. Like maybe in some cases it makes them a little bit lazier.
Just how it messes up art, I feel like it messes up your game.
That's a totally different thing though.
Yeah, I don't think generating fake frames between It's not like it's taking anyone's job.
No, but like it takes the soul out of it.
I don't know. I feel like the soul is the creative part. Yeah, we're talking about like I don't know what the technical term is for it, but like all of the technical parts of it. Like, yeah, there's a person working on that stuff, but that's just how technology is. Eventually, there is a way to streamline it, and then that part of the process gets slowly phased out as AI or a computer or whatever.
It's almost
takes over
like a manual versus an automatic car, I feel like.
I guess maybe that's where that's a good example. Maybe I'm just a manual guy. But then I
agree with you on the creative end of it. If you're using AI to come up with ideas and art and stories and that kind of thing, then that definitely takes the human element out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But that's a different thing. But just sliding in extra frames, like, think about it. Your graphics card runs something, it can run it at 60 FPS, right? Mm-hmm. All they're doing is generating an estimated frame between all of those to get you to 120, or sometimes 2 frames to get you even higher, you know?
Yeah. All right, we've been sidetracked like way off of whatever we were talking about before, but
news.
Well, it's just fun.
Anyway,
not really
what other stuff do we have going on?
Bert?
Nothing. I'm at school.
Have you guys seen anything about Creature Commandos, the DC Universe animated show?
Nope.
I heard it was good, but I don't even know what it's about.
Apparently it's really good, and I think it's on HBO. I think that's where all DC stuff is. Or Max now is what it's called. But apparently it's pretty good. It's like the first canon DC universe, like the new universe stuff. And they've hinted at a lot of like the Justice League members and different characters that are...
that Superman movie?
Yeah.
Is it that same world?
Yeah, it's that same universe.
Okay.
So
I don't even... What even is that? I don't know what those guys are. Or what is that? What is...
It's an animated series. It's like the werewolf guy. Remember him from Suicide Squad?
The Weasel?
Like characters like that. Yeah, the Weasel. It's characters like that, and then they kind of like...
But it's like a team? What is it?
Yeah, they're a team, and they go off and do different things. It's like more like R-rated and
like
stuff
Suicide
like that.
Squad, but not exactly like them.
It's more like that, yeah. But they did reveal the DCU Batman. He appeared, his silhouette at least did, like standing over some people.
I heard people said he looked fat.
He looked bigger, yeah. He looked like the bigger version of Batman.
Maybe he's just bulky.
Yeah, he's like a bulky Batman. But
did they cast him yet?
No, they haven't announced who's going to play him.
Oh my
yet.
god, they should just make it Dean Winchester, bro.
They should. It'd be so good.
That would hype me for the DC whatever it's called.
DCU.
Yeah. There's a Teen Titans movie or show or something also in the works in that universe that would use Dick Grayson as the Robin or as a version of Nightwing.
He's the best Robin.
Since Damian Wayne is supposed to be the Robin that we're going to see, the Robin that we're going to see in the Batman Brave and the Bold movie that comes out in 26, I think.
Hip, hip,
hey, is this true? I have a question actually, because I saw this the other day that Spider-Verse got delayed again.
Yeah, Spider-Verse got delayed, and the Batman 2 got delayed.
Yeah, I don't really care about that. But the Batman one, but the Spider-Verse one, that was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with that. Shamik Moore is like...
I told you guys about this the other day. I was like, apparently that guy's being wild.
Yeah, but
there's some like wild stuff with him.
They got to recast Miles.
He's just being... as far as I know, he didn't do anything illegal. He's just being super cringe.
Yeah, he's being like a little creep. But I don't know. But yeah, that movie's been delayed.
I don't think this is like confirmed or anything, but I heard that they're thinking it's going to be in 2027.
I don't know. Nothing's confirmed. I have no idea what's going to happen with that. I still think 2026 probably.
I'm kind of worried now though, because it's clearly been restarted multiple times, so it might be bad.
I don't know. But I think, not that you care, but
potential.
For the Batman 2, that one I would be very surprised if we ever get it. That's starting to look like it's never going to happen.
I don't think it even really matters. Like, Because it just would be weird to have it, and then at the same time they're going to be bringing in another Batman soon. Like,
it's just because so many people liked the Batman. So people like that version in that world. And if it exists on its own, it's kind of what people want. So.
Is that Penguin the same Penguin in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of is lame that Penguin isn't connected to the new stuff.
No, yeah, he's in that universe, in the Batman universe. But yeah. So we'll see what happens. Trying to think what else. Spider-Man Freshman Year, that trailer came out. What If Season 3 just ended a couple weeks ago.
The last 2 episodes of that were good.
Yeah, they just like, you could tell like they knew that this was the end, and they just like went hard and just had like cool fights and like just epic stuff going on. So it was fun. But the whole beginning of it sucked, I thought.
I see.
Yeah, but those last 2 episodes went crazy. I was like, the show had no business going from a fucking 4 that it was to like a 7. I was like, damn.
Everyone's saying that the Secret Level show is pretty fire.
I've been hearing that too. I actually want to watch that. That seems interesting.
Makes
and
me even
fun.
more sad that they that Microsoft said, nah, we don't want to do Halo Doom crossover for one of those.
Yeah.
That is so toxic.
I'm trying to think. I think that's all I had, really. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's all I had too. The main thing was the new graphics card, which looks pretty cool, but advertised poorly, and we probably won't even be able to get them for like a year or two because
there is a Micro Center near us.
That's true.
So there's a chance.
Yeah.
I'm fine waiting a year anyways because I plan on upgrading for GTA, which will probably come to PC a year after it comes out. So
yeah,
I got time.
I want to do a PC upgrade soon, but I don't know if I should just keep waiting or not.
Yeah, I have no idea. So the main focus of this episode, after the news section, is we've been going through the old Zombies maps. We've been playing them, doing the Easter eggs, and running through that whole thing. We did 5, we did Kino, we did Ascension, and now we've done Call of the Dead. I think
did we actually talk about 5? I think we only talked about Kino.
No, I think we included it with the Kino stuff. It was like just mentioned because there's not a ton to it.
Yeah, I think we talked about like the music that we did.
Yeah, it was the Eminem song and all that.
I'll check right now. Keep talking.
But anyways, this one will be focused on Ascension and Call of the Dead.
We have nothing on 5, so let's throw that in there too.
Well, no, I think we talked about it with Kino.
I don't know. I watched that whole episode today.
The Kino episode?
Yep.
We'll just talk about it again.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's not really much to say. Yeah, there's not really much to say about 5. Basically, the characters are fun. That's like the most interesting part to me. You're
got a cool
John
cinematic.
F. Kennedy. Yeah, John F. Kennedy, Fidel Castro, McNamara, and Nixon are the playable characters in that one. You're in the Pentagon. That's fun. They have the Pentagon Thief. The Winter's Howl is the wonder weapon.
In 5? I guess I didn't use it.
Yeah, it's the freeze gun. It sucks, so it's not worth even using. I'm trying to think. It's not like there's not a lot to it. It's pretty standard zombie stuff. It's really tight quarters and everything, so it's like a difficult map. And the Pentagon Thief makes it hard.
Middle of the road, honestly.
It was pretty fun. I like how the windows are barriers.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a bottom tier map, to be honest.
I would say that if I didn't play an actual bottom tier map 2 maps later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They really they popped off in Black Ops 1, hitting us with the best zombies map and the worst back to back.
Yeah. We'll see what you think of Shangri-La, because that map's tough too.
Okay, but I watched our episode earlier because I wanted to remember something that I brought up in our last one. We were doing what we think about these 3 things 1 to 5. We were doing like how you think it is visually, gameplay, and the Easter egg. So Easter egg for 5 is kind of
it's like non-existent.
Yeah, it doesn't apply here. As far as look and gameplay, I think it looks super cool. I think that's a great setting for a map in the Pentagon. I think I would give it a 4 for its look.
I'm gonna agree.
Out of 5. I think I'd give it a 2. I just don't like maps that are so tight.
That's more gameplay.
But that has to do with how it looks. I would think.
Maybe.
It's kind of similar, though.
No, something can look cool and play like shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Think about most modern day games.
I don't know. I don't like the indoors aspect of it all either. I don't like feeling stuck inside of buildings the whole time.
I just think it's cool to see the Pentagon, I guess. Yeah. Inside.
I'd probably give it like a 2.
I like how
gameplay, I would probably give it a 2, though. Yeah, and I like the whole DEFCON thing. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, for the Pack-a-Punch.
That's gameplay. I think, for me, 3 for look, actually, because I'm thinking of some of the other maps that are, like, really good. 3 for look, 2 for gameplay.
I think I'd flip-flop those. 2 for look, 3 for gameplay. I think it's just middle of the road.
I think it is pretty middle of the road for
overall,
gameplay.
I think I'd, like, 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 5 for the map. 5.
5. I'd probably give it a 4.
I'm going to say in the middle and say 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it's like...
It was an okay map. I remember, like, never... Like, there's not a lot of training spots, and it's very
playable,
tight.
but I'd pick Kino over it if I were on one of the starter maps, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I would also. All right, let's talk Ascension.
This is my favorite Zombies map. There are only 2 in the entire series that I think even compete with it.
This was a fun map.
I do love Ascension.
It looks really cool. It has super cool, like, map things,
Actions.
I guess. It's got that spinning thing, the landers, the rocket takes off.
Flopper is introduced.
Flopper is introduced.
I love
This is my
Flopper.
favorite map. So I love this map. It has 3 good training spots. Maybe you could push it and say you could kind of do a little train over by stamina, but I don't think so. But definitely starting room, Flopper, and Pack-a-Punch.
Yeah. I love Ascension. I like the addition of Flopper. I like this is like the beginning of the Easter egg like craze. Like this is like the foundation of that. Like the Easter eggs just get more and more complicated after this one. This one, relatively speaking, is like super simple compared to the other ones.
The Gersh devices are awesome.
Yeah, the Gersh devices, the Matryoshka dolls, they're not very good, but it's cool.
The Gersh device might be the only thing that I could be like okay with not having monkeys, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the Easter egg for that one?
It was okay. I mean,
cool.
it's nothing special, but
launch a rocket.
For
for the time though, I thought it was pretty cool. Like nobody knew what was going on. Like it was so interesting that like there was even a story involved on the map. Like now looking back, like obviously the Easter eggs have gotten ridiculous and super complex and complicated to the point where they're like actual pieces of the experience.
But I think they become too much later on. I think like the Easter eggs peaked probably in Black Ops 2, and some of 3s are good, but some of them are too much, I think.
I like the ones. Excuse me. I like the ones in 3 a lot. Those are probably my favorite ones, to be honest. Because I feel like they reach a good medium, like middle ground area where they're like doable but also challenging.
I think that the best Easter... This is a spoiler for the series, but I think the best Easter egg is the bows of the whole everything.
That's one of my favorite ones.
The bows?
Yeah.
I like the bows.
Yeah, that's Black Ops 3. Anyways, back to Ascension. That Easter egg, it's not super complicated. There's only like maybe 3 or 4 steps. But it adds to the whole story. It adds to like the stakes of stuff that's going on. You kind of start to see the beginnings of Richtofen's like plan and everything, and like he's up to more than he's letting on and that type of thing. So it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we just go through our numbers, right? So let's go around the board. Easter egg rating 1 to 5, everyone.
I'm gonna give it a solid 3, 4, 3.5. Sorry.
I think I would give it
pretty high.
I think I'll give it a 3, just for the fact that it's the original one, like it's the first one.
I think it's a 2, probably. I guess saying it's the original, I guess 3 makes sense. Yeah, it's just because I know what a perfect is, and it's the bows.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like, but I go by wow factor too, and I mean it was pretty cool to watch.
It's cool to watch, but like, there's no gameplay change. That's what's cool. I think actually no.
Black Ops 6 Easter eggs are really good.
Doesn't it give you a death machine when you finish it?
Yeah, it gives you death machine for like it's like a 3-minute
really
death
long
machine.
So there's a little thing. It's pretty cool, I guess. I could see 3 for the Easter egg.
Yeah, gameplay wise, not too much changes. They add the landers, add a new perk.
Oh, it's peak gameplay. It's peak. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's like pretty boots on the ground type of basic zombies, what you kind of think when you think about the series. So I'd probably give that
a 5 out of 5 map for me for gameplay.
I'd probably give it a 4.
Like if they were all remade in the same engine and like played the same, but it's just every map, and someone said play any map, I'd pick Ascension. The only reason I could see someone not picking Ascension is because they don't want to play Black Ops 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then visually, I like the setting. I like the Russian space station with the rocket, and starts off black and white and all of that stuff. It gives off some really creepy vibes. I like when Zombies leans into the creepy stuff and like the horror aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean,
versus like the fantastical, like
I agree.
Sci-fi fantasy stuff.
I think it's a 3 for me.
Yeah, I'd probably give the setting like a 4, just because I like the horror vibes.
Overall, sorry, Bert, your view on the setting, your number?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
And what was your gameplay?
Like a 4.
We both gave him 4s or 3s, yeah.
All right. So then overall, just stacked up against every Zombies map out of 10, what would you give Ascension?
Man, I haven't played them all. But
that you know of.
I would give Ascension a 7.
I was about to actually say 7.
I think for me, well, hold on. It's my favorite, but that doesn't mean it's the best one. For me, it's like probably 8, I guess. Yeah, like trying to be objective about it.
To see you guys play Shangri-La. I really don't think you guys are gonna like it.
I remember hating it. I've played Shangri-La.
Is it a swamp?
One time?
Yeah, but
I'll hate it.
It's been years.
I played it one time, and then I went back to Ascension.
Yeah, it is a difficult map.
What's funny though is I guess just to move on. Oh, sorry, Bert. What was your rating?
7.
Okay. But to move on, we get to Call of the Dead. And what's funny about that is, like, I've played every Zombies map up to Black Ops 3, finishing Black Ops 3, because I don't think 4 had any, right? Or if it had, like, a different kind, though. I remember that, yeah. I did play those, though. I just didn't like any of them. But the real Zombies map ended up Black Ops 3. And I've played them all, but specifically Call of the Dead and Shangri-La, both of those maps I played one time, hated it, and then never played them again. So when we went back to play that one, I was like, yeah, I kind of remember this, but it almost felt like completely new, Like I was like, yeah, I remember it being snowy and boat and this annoying guy with the light, but that was it.
Yeah.
It still sucks. I wasn't just bad. It's still trash.
It is tough with George. George Romero does make the map hell. And then there's just random snowstorms that also suck.
Oh my God,
he makes it toxic. The snowstorms makes it toxic.
And the water.
The areas of water make it toxic. Like,
and then how far everything feels. Nothing feels close.
Oh yeah, that just continues to happen as Zombies continues on.
Not
Everything
only that,
just gets more spread out because the maps just get bigger.
But it feels like a small map that just forces you to take long path. Like you have to go either all the way into the ship and up and then around to get to the back half, or all the way into the lighthouse.
It's not like I'm running around a courtyard. It feels like I'm running like up and down hallways.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the most complicated routes to get to everything, yeah. They try to help you with like the flinger thing, but it doesn't help.
I forget about that. That might be the only cool thing. And there's some
zip lines.
Zip lines too, yeah. That map pack was actually epic. I think that map pack had Kowloon in it, and I loved Kowloon.
I think so, yeah. I think it had that. And I think it had like Stadium and something else.
I just know the zip lines were, like, I remember the trailer of Kowloon. And I remember also thinking, like, wow, did I waste my money on this dog shit zombies map? And then we played Kowloon, and I was like, okay. It wasn't a total waste of money.
Yeah. What about the Easter egg? The Easter egg, I think, is actually pretty good.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I think it's funny too.
That actually,
it was a good Easter egg.
I would
and
give
the
that
cast of characters I like too, like
Merle.
Yeah. What's his name? Michael Rooker, Danny Trejo, Sarah Michelle Gellar, I think.
I don't know. The only person I know of those people is Spy Kids guy and Walking Dead guy.
Yeah. And then obviously George. But
it's a cool idea. Fun.
Yeah. And then the fact that you have to like help rescue the Ultimus crew, which is fun, the original characters.
It's a bit confusing.
They have some really good voice lines, some really funny things that they do and say.
That's true. We did have a debate on the how time travel works in the Zombies universe that led to questioning, though. Still undetermined, but as far as we know, we're guessing it probably is similar to Marvel's time travel because the world should be destroyed at that point or coming up on being destroyed.
I think there's just multiple timelines. And I think later on that does get confirmed that there are multiple timelines.
It only has to. It's the only way that makes sense.
Later on, it gets confirmed that there's other dimensions, so anything is possible.
There can be the same dimension in different timelines, or there can be the same, multiple versions of a dimension. It gets so complicated.
The point is, the Easter egg was pretty cool. I liked the little lighthouse puzzle. I think this is probably my favorite Easter egg so far.
That was fun because we almost had to restart the entire thing. Bert took one for the team and trained a crawler for a solid 30 minutes.
That was so fucking boring. I was getting...
Well, me and Sebastian just literally sat in the lighthouse trying to figure out these dials because I had a video pulled up and I had it set to where I was going to be able to do it, but then chaos ensued and I lost track of my count and I could no longer keep count of the dials. And I got it messed up, and then Sebastian had to come in and actually do math and figure out how the dials needed to be situated.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. My favorite Easter egg so far. I'd probably give it a 4, I think, actually.
Yeah, I would probably... I don't know if I want to give it a 4. I guess, I don't know.
I'm going to give it a 4. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it a 4. I'm thinking of later ones, but I gave Ascension a 4. But that's just more of because it started the craze.
Gameplay, I seriously think it's a 1. In my memory, nothing is worse than this map. The only one that could possibly be is Shangri-La, because I don't remember it much. But this is the worst map in my memory.
Yeah, it felt like they wanted to make the experience more difficult, but in the process of doing that, they made it miserable. It wasn't difficult, it was just annoying.
No, it felt like they wanted to throw in a bunch of gimmicks. Wouldn't it be cool if zombies would freeze and wouldn't it be cool if we had zombie guy with the light
line and a guy that
and wouldn't it be cool if we had a wonder weapon that turned them into humans but is actually useless?
Yeah, the wonder weapon is awful. And it's so niche. There's some niche uses to it, shooting your teammate so that they can revive somebody.
Which
the chances of being able to pull that off are so minuscule.
Yeah, and it's got 7 shots or such small amount of ammo too.
Yeah, and you can only hit one zombie at a time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just remembered something because we talked about it in our Kino video, we were also rating the wonder weapons. So Ascensions is the same as Kino's, so it kind of goes the same as that. I guess the only thing for that one you'd say the Gersh device is new, and I think that's really cool. I would give that a high rating.
The Matrushkas.
Yeah, I would say those are great additions. Yeah. I think the Gersh
guess you could include the sickle too. It's the same as the Bowie knife damage-wise, but just different look.
Yeah. Like you said for 5, it sucks. I don't even remember. I didn't use it.
Yeah, it's not very good.
We just said this map, it sucks too, so...
Yeah, the VR11.
So far, they've only profited on the original Thunder Gun and Ray Gun.
Yeah, you do get a Wonder Waffle.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, for completing the Easter egg, which we did get.
But you can't switch weapons. You have to use it up before you get back to your normal guns.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
That's lame. Yeah, but everything about the map sucks, really. The only good thing is, I guess the launcher thing is kind of cool, but it's just put in badly. Like, they could have made it way cooler. Like, imagine if it was... This is going to be something you guys don't understand the reference to, I don't think, but there's this Halo map in Halo 1 where it's a UNSC ship that was split in half in space, and you're fighting over, like, this destroyed ship. Imagine how cool it'd be if it was like that. That ship was, like, destroyed in the middle, and the launchers launched you back and forth between them.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Instead, it's basically useless, because to go to the launcher is like a death corner. And then it launches you to, like, a death circle.
True.
The zip lines also could have been cool, but really the only useful one's at the top of the lighthouse.
Yeah. If you think about it, the map kind of is small, like you guys said.
And it's
because you don't really use the entirety of it. Like, you don't go to all the places that you can go to.
You stay out of the ship as much as you can.
Most of it's inconvenient, too.
Yeah. It's very inconvenient. And George makes it impossible to go to half the places.
And you don't want to stay in one spot. That too. You just can't.
Yeah.
And there's, like, no training location beside... Like, the only one is that little piece right out the front of the lighthouse. That's it.
I mean, you could do it in the starting area.
Maybe. Till George comes.
Yeah, and no training area is safe with him.
It sucks. It's a 1 out of 5, the gameplay. Overall, the map gets boosted up only by the Easter egg to maybe a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. What do you guys rank it as far as, what did we do? Setting? The setting I actually do cool.
Like. It's not bad, actually. I just wish it didn't do that snowing thing. If it didn't do the snowing thing, I would give its look, like, way higher.
Yeah, I'm going to say its look is a 3.
Yeah, I could see that. It's decent.
It's decent, yeah. I give it a 3 also.
I do really like that.
Gameplay-wise, I think I would, like you said, it's a 1.
Yeah, this is a very small section of the map, but I like that little cave part where the zombies come out of, like, the rocks, and you build the window with cool. Rocks.
It is pretty
cool. Yeah, that is cool.
It's really hard to find things I like about the map. I gotta look into the fucking
windows.
Yeah. And then what was the last topic? The last category?
That was it. We did it. We did Easter egg, gameplay, looks, and wonder weapon, and then it's just overall.
Easter egg. Yeah. Overall, I would give it like a 3.
I'm gonna say,
honestly, it might even end up lower just because it might be the worst.
I was gonna say a 2.5.
I could say, you know what? 2 is reasonable. Let's bring it down.
I'm in agreement. We'll bring it down to a 2.
It's bad. And
that being said, I still did have fun. I did have fun when we did it.
I had fun because of the Easter egg, though. If you're like, let's go play the map.
I would not want to high round that map.
No, yeah, definitely not.
That's the term I was looking for, high rounding.
Yeah, that's not my have fun and play zombies map of choice.
And the Easter egg's only fun once, so like the map's useless now.
Yeah, I like later on in zombies the Easter eggs that add different things. Like some of my favorite ones is like in Mob of the Dead, getting like the golden spork and the upgraded tomahawk and stuff like that.
Or even just getting to pack a punch, you got to build the plane. That's cool.
Yeah, like I like Easter eggs in
Hell's Retriever is really sick. Actually, that might be up there with the the bows. I really like Hell's Retriever.
I haven't used it much. I only ever used it once.
Have you ever played Mob of the Dead?
Yeah, I did.
Played it with him.
Oh yeah,
we did it with him.
You did the Mob of the Dead, the Easter egg? No, you didn't.
All played it here, split screen.
We never did the Easter egg though.
Wait, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't do the Easter egg. You're right, because one of you dies.
We just built the plane.
Yeah, that we did that. That's how you get.
We did the Spork, and we did Hell's Retriever.
Yeah, well, we'll save that for later. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the zombies talk. I don't know how you guys want to round out the episode. If you guys have anything going on, you want to talk about that.
Well, I will say, in my memory, I remember always being like Black Ops 1 had fire zombie maps, but really it's only Kino and Ascension so far.
Yeah.
5, I guess, is passable.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how you guys like Shangri-La.
I know I don't. It's just a question if I hate it more than what we just played.
That's the real question.
The Easter egg, I need your guys' help. Like, I can't do that one by myself. I need multiple brains thinking at the same time because there's too much to remember.
That's concerning.
I do remember thinking that Shangri-La had cool traps. That's like the only thing I can remember about my memory of my single game of it. I
can't even remember, to be honest. I just remember like Eclipse mode.
And I remember the section that's in a Black Ops 3 map.
Oh, yeah. All right. You guys got anything going on? Anything you're up to? What's up? Before we sign it off.
I'm trying to think. No. I had
no.
I had classes today. My first set of classes.
Did you win?
That's something.
No. I know one person in one of my classes.
That's rough, buddy.
And there was actually I have a funny story. There's this guy. And the professor asked a question, and you get like the typical shorter answers, like a sentence or two. But there was this one dude that went on like, I promise you, at least a minute tangent trying to answer this question.
There's always that guy.
And he was like, "Sorry, I'm a philosophy guy, so I really like to think about these questions." And in my head, I thought, I'm gonna hate.
What kind of question was it?
She asked.
Was it a philosophy question?
No, she asked like, "What is
What's the meaning of life?"
No,
I like the idea that they asked a math problem, like what's 10
no,
plus
it wasn't
10?
Even, it was like
and
conservation.
Then somehow it turned.
It was,
you reminded me of a great story. I'll tell you after.
What's the word? There's a word. Like preservation.
What's the topic of this class?
Oh, preservation.
I think almost like preservation.
What's the class?
It's colloquium. It's like a environmental class that we're required to take. And he was like, so she was like, what is like it was like preservation or something like that. Here, tell your story and I'll find the word because the word kind of matters.
Well, listen though, because my story is good. I have a very similar story. I remember in my class of I think it was physics. Yeah, it was a physics class in college. We're all sitting there. We're taking the class. He's explaining some physics things to us, and the problem has 4 dimensions, right? X, Y, Z, something else.
I got that.
And then someone asked. It became a like very in-depth discussion because someone was like, "Wait, what's the 4th dimension?"
Oh my god.
It became like a whole thing. He's like, "Well, we don't really know for sure." Well, he's like, "Some people would say time," and the teacher went on for like an hour.
That's insane.
But like the person didn't mean it like that. They were just like, "What? Like, what do you do with it? You know? Like, how do you solve? Like, what do you do with the 4th dimension in this problem?"
That poor student was like, "What the fuck did I ask?"
And then everyone was like, "No,
no." But yeah, the word is sustainable. And like people were like, preserving the future, giving like the typical answers. But then this one dude was like, it's a very complex question because in the modern like neoliberalism of like the modern world,
oh my God,
you examine corporations and they'll say this, but to really do this. And he went on for like actually like a minute or two. And when the second he was done,
yours was the student going on, right?
And what made it so
That's
much
even
better
worse, I think,
is that the student wasn't like a 20-year-old. He looked like he was 50. And then when he was done, the professor was like, "Wow, you went way further than I thought you would for this." And his response was like, "Sorry, I'm a philosophy guy. I like to think about the questions." And I remember thinking in my head, I'm going to hate this class because of this guy.
Yeah, philosophy guys don't get anything done. All they do is think and talk.
Like, I don't
actually
know.
Act on anything.
Do you guys ever see American Pie?
Yeah, but I barely remember it.
Bits and pieces.
Do you remember Oz, the character, like the football or the lacrosse player?
Lacrosse. Yeah.
Remember how he like joined theater and like started talking all emotional?
Oh yeah.
That guy had the exact same tone of voice and like way of speaking.
That's funny. You remind me. Have you guys ever? Probably not. Have you guys ever seen Young Sheldon?
Yeah.
No, I've never.
Oh, you've seen Young Sheldon?
But I have seen it.
Oh, well, maybe you didn't reach this part. Well, there's this point where he starts tutoring this like dumbass kid, and it's just like basic math, and he's like teaching him adding and subtracting, and then he goes, how are you adding 0? That doesn't make sense. And it like became this whole thing, and he's like, 0 isn't real. How can you have 0?
How can you have nothing?
It's just a thing that reminded me of. Then he like went to his college professors, and he's like, I'm having a problem. 0 isn't real. He's like, what do you mean? 0 is a number. He's like, then where is it?
Yeah, give it to me.
Show me 0.
Show it to me. That's funny.
Yeah. 0 is just the absence of 1.
It's the absence of anything.
Yeah.
The best way to imagine 0 is like darkness.
But darkness is something.
Exactly.
True. Let's not do this.
Please, let's not talk about the 4th dimension.
Yeah.
That was so toxic because it was the teacher. You know, at least when it's a student, you control them after class. But
yeah. Well, for me, I've been up to, I've just been playing ESO by myself.
That's fun.
I'm almost done with East March. I think I'm almost done with the Ebonheart Pact.
I should play that game more. We just haven't.
I played for a while the other day, and I had fun.
Yeah, I had fun last night. I was playing. I'm almost done with East March, and then I think I'm going to do the Aldmeri Dominion.
I think that's kind of toxic with me, because I have a hard time starting to play games. Once I start playing them, it's fine.
That's everybody. That's me too. I've been thinking about starting and trying to play Starfield again, and I've really been close, like the last 3 nights in a row, because like I haven't done anything.
The problem I
just get tired and I just end up going to bed.
Yeah.
The problem I have with games is I need to not play too many at the same time or something gets abandoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, I don't want to abandon ESO right now. I'm having too much fun. So I kind of just come back to it. But, man, one night, like 2 nights ago, I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock and didn't wake up until like 7 a.m.
Dude,
I was like, wow, what just
though.
happened? I was like, where am I?
You woke up a little sweaty.
Oh, I love those are the worst, actually, when you wake up sweaty. But some of the where am I wake ups are good.
Yeah. All right, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We will see you again next week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. See you.
Keep it salty.